Welcome to Bullshit Week 8. Title of this episode is Free Balling.
Is it week 8 or week 9? Hold on.
We just finished
week 8.
we passed week 8. It was our 9th week video. I've never been able to get that straight. Yeah. So we're just winging it right here. Harris, how do you feel about the last trade you made where you got Ezekiel Elliott and Romeo Doubs? How did they perform for you?
Let me just tell you right off the bat, Zeke is the best thing I've ever traded for. Probably the best running back I've ever had, who sat on my bench and got me 0 points.
Nice. And Doubs?
I don't even know what the fuck Dobbs did for me. I just kept him on the bench because Green Bay sucks. So that's where I was at.
Hold on. Have you played any of the people that you've ever traded for?
Yes, Algier. I played Algier this week. Got me 16 points. So thank you, Algier.
Was it the first time you've played him?
No. I've been playing Christian Kirk almost every week. So
that's right. You got Kirk. Okay.
Yeah.
But
you know what's funny about that trade is Derek Carr got me less than a point. Pickens got 0 points. And I don't remember who the third person was.
No one does.
No. Have you ever played Keenan Allen?
That's what it is. I guess
that's who it was.
That's who it was.
Mr. Irrelevant Keenan Allen.
Because he was on bye. So it worked out. I traded for him.
Chewy.
Yeah.
He's on bye the whole week. I mean, the whole year, the rest of the year. Yeah. He's just on.
I know. I just want to win like enough games to stay ahead of the charity. All right, that's all I'm going for, because my team is clearly the worst team. I just happen to have one more win. So that's all I'm sticking with right now. Is not being actual last place.
Well, hold on. Who's got the I don't know how to look at this anymore.
What do you want to know?
For interesting things, if we're talking about points scored or points against, Nielsen has the most points against, and he is.
No, wait, yes.
I'm going to tell you.
No.
Sleeper makes it real easy. They put a poop emoji. Whoever's been on scored the most against. And they put a little laughy face on who scored the most. So Bill is the highest ranked team and the most scored. The irony is poor Nielsen, who has been scored the most against, is the second highest scorer in the league.
Well,
and he is now 7th.
He deserves that bad luck for having like almost 0 participation in the bets portion of the league. So this is what he gets. He gets the shit emoji.
Yeah. Because at least Andy has stepped it up. He's 4th, and he's done a decent amount of bets this year.
Yeah, and he's taken like 20 shots of water out of that gin bottle. So seriously, nobody drinks gin like that. So I don't believe that it's actually gin. It's just, that's not a thing. Nobody does that. Andy. Maybe that's what they do in Colorado.
But yeah, so yeah, the trade between Harris and I has done nothing for either of us. In fact, probably cost me points because I started Carr in Pickens and got 1 point. I was better off keeping the other 2 guys that I wouldn't have played, and just because one got injured, and the other, well, maybe no, I don't think I've ever started Dobbs, and I probably wouldn't have. But this was the 1 week he did something again. So
well, at least Harris has a rookie keeper now in Dobbs. So
yeah, a non-hurt rookie keeper.
Woo! He has 2 healthy ACLs.
Yeah. So yeah, so as far as trades go, I mean, the other big trade recently was, of course, last week we talked a lot about it, was the Brashawn Richie trade for Diggs. And
that's it.
The funny thing is, like, obviously the 2 that Brashawn got is going to, the belief of last show, and it showed up this week, was that those two are going to do better the rest of the season. But I will tell you, how many points, like if you were going to trade, if you could take two guys and combine them into one guy, that how many points would that one guy have to score to be worth two guys?
What?
Yeah, I figured. Matt's drunk. Other Matt's just tired. So here's the deal. As I just to give more backup to Richie, who fortunately both of them won last week. So
Right.
trade worked out somehow, even though last week Kamara and Kittle combined for far more than Diggs. On the season, at the time of that trade, Diggs had outscored the two of them combined by 30 points.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna like, as a like Richie standpoint, if you could trade for a guy that has scored 30 more points than the two guys you are trading away, you now have that guy in your lineup plus another guy. He should technically be better. The deal is Kamara is now finally like taken off, fully healthy. The 30 points equates to the at least 2 games Kamara missed, but it may be a relatively balanced trade if Diggs keeps, like this was not a 30-point Diggs week, but it was a 30-plus Kamara week and a 10-point Kittle week. It was not as bad of a trade as you made it sound, because at the time of the trade, Diggs was worth 30 more points than the other two combined.
Yeah, Carver, what do you say, bitch?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't, what the gay?
Why you gotta be so offensive to the gays? They're lovely people.
And he got Denver's defense. I knew there was another piece of that trade. He got Kamara and George Kittle and Denver's defense. So I get what you're saying, Chewy, that
I do not remember a defense on that trade, but okay.
Yeah, there was a defense. Yeah, he got.
I get what you're saying, because Richie got a really, really high scoring player and opened up spots to bring either more players into a starting lineup or pick up more players off of the waivers that he can put in. I get what you're saying. I do. Yeah.
Yes. The argument you are failing to make, because I'll help you, because apparently I'm the only one capable of carrying this show tonight, is that Kamara and Kittle will combine for more points the rest of the season than Diggs by himself. Not to mention, especially in the Kittle case, tight ends are garbage. Keeping a decent tight end is a hard position to fill with some random waiver wire ad. That's the argument you would be making if you had brain cells.
So
I don't
guess-
have brain cells.
I guess
know.
the question that we need to ask then is, who's helping Brashawn, or is he just doing this all on his own?
That's a good question. From years past,
How dare you?
somebody else is
How
running Rashawn's team.
Dare you insult
hey.
Rashawn like that?
Hey, I love B, but his main thing has been like, I don't fucking care. And he's made some epic moves this season.
Yeah,
So
well, his team name is not random AF.
no. It's
His
that
team
guy.
name is that guy. All right. He is on his game this year. So
I love you, B.
Yeah.
all right. Switching gears. If we look at the season standings, we see that we have the better cousin is on the top of the leaderboard with a 6-2 record. The far lesser cousin is in second place, but tied for second place with like 800 other people. So this the playoffs are far from being set. We got 5-5-3 teams. We got 2-4-4 teams, and Gary out of nowhere has 3 wins now. And
I wouldn't say out of nowhere. Chewy and I predicted him winning.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, cost somebody a Century Club.
It's gonna be so good when I'm doing Century Club by myself at your house.
I
You know what?
I did
You know what?
officially, Carver, I did officially turn in the paperwork to get the 13th off. We'll see if I get it, because I will tell you though, Carver, depending on how well our basketball team does, the next day is our state tournament, so I might not get it off.
Nice. You should coach your team as if you want to do Century Club with me.
Guys, I need Monday off.
Like,
Do this for Carver.
yeah, you bench, you in the game.
Just
What? Why? That's not Harris is drunk. Harris is drunk coaching again. Just drunk coach.
Just tell them you don't have to teach that day. You'll show up to coach. Because the
There we go.
tournament's got to start that evening.
I actually thought about that. Like, if our head coach comes to us and says, "Hey, like I know you want this day off," like I'll tell him like, "Hey, I just need to be by practice. I'm good. If I have to get there by 5 o'clock at night, I'm good." So I'm waiting to see what I'm told.
True story. But yeah, so question for you gentlemen. Bill's sitting on top. He's got the smiley crying face for most points for. Is he easily, clearly the team to beat this year? Or what was that?
That's a dog. They
That was
barked.
Hadid's.
Yeah, that is
that-
good old Hades. The
We move
Australian
on now.
Shepherd
Yeah,
that
I mean the
barks
whole
at
league pretty much
literally
knows Hades.
everything.
All right. So is Bill the juggernaut runaway favorite to win the entire league this year?
As the guy who chose Bill to outscore Brian this year, yes.
That is some hard hitting analysis. Thank you for the breakdown.
I mean, he does have 70 points on Spear, so that's nice.
Well, Spear
yeah.
has 70 pounds on him, so it evens out.
I would say 80.
I would love to say that Spear is that fat just because he deserves to be made fun of, but unfortunately, Bill, love you, dude. Since I met you, you've done like me and gained some weight. So
There is an extreme height disparity there. I think that Brian's height versus Bill's lack thereof gives the weight portion.
obviously Bill's a better person, so there's no reason to point this out to Bill, but as a fat person that has swung multiple directions, I recommend against it. I'm just gonna say, do not wait till your body starts to suffocate itself to motivate yourself to lose weight. I'm just based off of my story in sleep apnea. That's why I decided to lose weight the first time, was that I got sleep apnea, which is basically your body going, hey, you're so fat, I'm gonna strangle you with the fat while you try to sleep. Good time to lose weight. Didn't fix it, but hey. Yeah, I'd choose Bill as the lead, because it's hard to pick an auto pick person that currently, if playoffs started today, would not be in the playoffs because he is a game out from tying up with basically 2nd through 6th place. So
Yeah.
it will be interesting to see who misses. Like, I will say, I know at the beginning of this year, we talked about the fact that, and by we, might not have actually been Carver. I think it was a Harris, me, and call with Gary after the draft about this league. This year's draft actually seemed like everybody put in real effort.
Yeah.
Minus the auto drafters that had a computer do it better for them. But you can see that in the standings where, you know, the first team has only 1 win on the next 5 guys. So 2nd through 6th is all 5 and 3. Nielsen, who has more points than any of those guys except first place, is at 4-4. And he's 30 points ahead of second place. And then Nielsen's tied with Richie, who's up there. Actually, Richie's doing well for having one of the lower point scores. In fact, Richie's only outscored Gary by 5 points, and Gary just started winning 3 weeks ago. Like, he's just now got 3 wins. Carver, you got an easy one this week against the worst team of the league.
Who's that?
Me. So yeah, you got Carver, who actually has a decent point total. Wow, actually, Carver, you must just score big against bad teams like you did me. Because your points against is rather low, but you are actually third in points scored.
Well, one of the weeks I was the second highest. No, I think I was third highest score and lost to Harris, who was the top scorer.
That's
Right.
right, bitch.
And then I think the week I lost to Richie, we were both like in the I score big against the teams that score shit against me. And then I score big against the teams that beat me, but they score bigger. So I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, people have that every season. There's always, like, my favorite is always, there's at least once a season, somebody does the press conference and is the loser that week.
Well, we already had that this year, didn't we?
Second place lost to first.
Yeah, didn't we have that?
Probably. It happens every
I
year.
could be wrong, but I thought we already had it this year.
I
mean,
think
we've definitely had third lose to first. We probably already had second lose to first too. But that's the funny thing, is that your points, like, people have not actually scored. I'm surprised they don't put a symbol near that. You are actually, Carver, the lowest scored against team.
right.
So the fact that you've got this high score is you are always losing like bad beats.
Yes.
Like, your team doesn't put up, but you lose to somebody like Chris by like a couple of points when
Yes.
you both score 60 points like garbage. So your team only shows up at the wrong times.
Yes. Your analysis is spot on.
Right.
But pretty sure I'm going to come back, make the playoffs, shock the world, win the league.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Okay.
You are, as of right now, only 2 wins out of second place. That's how close the league is. That from 10th to second is a 2-game spread.
Yep. And we have 7 weeks left of regular season stuff before the playoffs. So lot can happen.
We have 6.
Sure. I'm gonna trust you way more than myself right now because
Ugh.
reason.
We are in week 9. We play till week 14 and then playoff starts. I smartly counted on my hand 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
True.
So, 6 weeks, 6 more matchups for everybody to try to get in, which technically means me at 2 and 6. I'm not out of it, even though I am out of it.
Well, I will be 9-5 at that point and hoping to secure that number 6 spot with my 9-5 record. So
Right. Yeah, I wonder who's going to get in the playoffs because they get to play me like right at the critical point. Or if I beat somebody and cost them the playoffs. That's my other favorite scenario. Like, because at this point, if you lose to me or the charity, you're just going to feel bad about missing the playoffs because it's going to be our fault.
Chewy,
Yo,
I just paid quarterback rank 3, 4, and 5. I did a triple shot again.
wow.
Yeah, it's coming through right now. So I am done with my quarterback rank bet. I also did my 3 shots that I owed for the video. I'm fucking fucked right now.
I know,
Just so
drinking
you know.
is fun.
You know what's great though? You know what's great? we had a chapter test today. So tomorrow, no bullshit. They're watching Glory with Denzel Washington. So I'm gonna be sitting there like this.
I don't know that you can say no bullshit on the bullshit show. I
Oh,
think that,
fuck. Bullshit. Extra bullshit.
but speaking of bullshit and just to move on, because we talked about standings and where that's going. I noticed, we have, a good listener base or subscriber base or whatever they are. I
At
don't
least
really know.
3, right?
At least 3 now. We never actually respond to their comments on YouTube. We might want to take a time to just go through some of the things going on in the comments. There's not much on the bet video from last week. The big one is Andy likes the rule party. So in the off season, we have a rule party to try to like get everybody together and say July to vote on and talk about rule changes, like going to a full PPR or, not having 2 IR spots so some asshole doesn't constantly misabuse it. I don't know, that the charity doesn't speak in English. So apparently Special is afraid of the Century Club. Like the guy that drinks all the time, it can't handle the Century Club, won't do the Century Club. Basically what I'm seeing is he's a giant puss.
Do you think it's because he can't count to 100?
That would be it. I have noticed in his videos, he doesn't know what his bets are. He doesn't know what to pay. So after about 3, he might just start over. Century Club might take a while. And I'm not going to count it for him. So we got Rashawn, which is fun. He's probably got the best comments on this video. It just says, "Oh, let me pick my bets up. I had to adjust my entire team the last 2 weeks. LOL. I'll be back on bets." I'm guessing I gave him shit about not making bets, like he had none or something sad, and it's B, and he should be making bets. The other reason I brought up B is he did actually post a question on our bullshit video right after telling me that I had the mic drop on the wide receiver versus RB talk. So just so you know, I mic dropped you fuckers last week. B recognized it, says I'm awesome. And then we move on. So then he has a question which would require Carver to have brain cells, because I think this is a research question for bullshit. So we're not going to answer it because it takes some work based on
maybe.
How what?
I said maybe. Read it.
Oh, maybe. I just heard and I was like, okay, Matt's incoherent now.
Yeah, drunk here is
hey,
coming out of bed.
I'm fucked up. 8 shots in. Let's go.
Yeah. 8 shots does it to a decent amount of people, except maybe me. Based on preseason rankings by Sleeper in the trades that have been made to date, 10/27/22, period. Big return space for no reason. Do you guys see any major shakeups, or do you see the top 6 to 8 teams making it to the playoffs, or do you see an outside team making it in and kicking out a top 8 team? Actually, that one we can do. So if he's saying we'll do it now after, like, so it's actually a week later. Sorry, B.
Wait,
'Cause-
that was a Brashawn question?
Yes, it's who else comments that might actually be able to put a sentence together?
Chris's wife?
That's true.
That's right, Liz. Love you, Liz. Thank you for subscribing and liking. I think God.
Oh no,
I'm fucked up.
I will go out on a limb and say there's no way that the top 6 right now stays the top 6.
What about the top 8?
Because my team's not in there yet.
So you're starting-
I fully believe that my team will not be in there.
What's funny about that, especially with Harris, is that early on in the show, all our teams were garbage. And I think at one point we were all like the same record, which is bad considering I'm the 2nd worst record in the league. So I've been that way for a while. Harris, all of a sudden, when we're like, well, none of us are going to be in the playoffs or the championship, all of a sudden Harris started winning. And Carver and I did not. So now you are 6th, Harris, right? So anybody, if you lose and somebody else wins, you're draw, like they're gonna have more points than. Actually, Richie doesn't have more points than you. So Carver has to win twice to even get to you to knock you out. So the only one you have to worry about is Nielsen because he's got all the points. So it's the top. Funny thing is Gary's in there too. Anybody in the top 10 at this point could make the playoffs. Like it is a legitimate balanced league this year that, I mean, Gary's the lowest point total in the top 10, followed by Richie, then you, Harris. So you three are the worst chances to make it because it's going to come down to points. It's going to come down to a tiebreaker more than anything.
Yeah.
But Carver's got to win when he's not playing a shit team, or like his team just has to score 2 more points than whoever he's playing just to start getting some of the wins.
I think the best thing that happened to Carver was McCaffrey getting traded to the 49ers. So,
Yes.
Well, yeah, I like that. Okay, so aside from Harris, since Harris is in last place right now, last technically of the playoff
I'm
team.
making
Last
playoffs
playoff
right now.
qualifying team.
You're the last person last in the playoff tier right now. And aside from Nielsen, who is on that cusp also, right? He's that next one in.
Yeah.
Who is the most likely to not make the playoffs? And who is the most likely person that's not in the playoffs now to get in? Does that make sense? So we can't say you, Harris, because that would be the obvious. So we'll go to the next one. And we're not going to say Nielsen because he would be the obvious. So we'll go to the next thing.
Is this a thing for us to say Carver?
That's what he wants.
That's what I say, of course. But Richie is also a very potential candidate there. And is Gary on a 3-game win streak?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, if he keeps that up, who knows?
I mean,
but yeah, so
Carver, I love the McCaffrey trade. I love your team right now. I fully believe in your team.
Me too. Chewy, do you think anything different? Do you think Richie has a better shot over me? Maybe Gary, a dark horse coming in out of nowhere? Or if any of the 8, 9, 10 ranked teams gets in, am I the most likely?
You're the easy answer. To be different, I will go with Richie. It's easy to choose you, the McCaffrey, stuff like that. But
he got a fucking throwing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a running back touchdown. So
it's gonna happen every week, just like that.
Every fucking week.
It's only happened 4 times in the history of the league, but yeah, it's gonna happen every week.
Every week.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's that's why it's likely gonna be, Carver making it in. Richie has a game on you. He made some trades, maybe it works out. He doesn't have the points, but if he can just have the better record.
That's all you need.
Right.
Okay, so who's the most likely to be knocked out of the playoffs of, say, the top 5? Harris, you may answer.
Me.
We're not including you in this.
Yeah, you already forgot the part where we can't choose you because you're the obvious choice out, just like Nielsen was the obvious choice in.
All right, Chewy, since you're the most coherent today, what do you think?
If you just stared at points, the next easiest choice is Rashawn, but I like Rashawn's team, especially after the trade. I'm gonna guess Andy.
That is my choice as well. I think Andy's a bit of a fugazi, and I think that we will see him slowly start to slide down the ranks until he starts slumming it with you and Mr. Special.
There's so much alliteration there.
You're so drunk.
I'm so drunk.
I will say the show is usually better when we take a decent amount of drinks during it. So
Chewy, I did not expect to drink the 5 quarterback bet shots, whatever I owed, but I did it for you guys.
I probably
Thank you.
should have, but I ended up doing 2 extras for a bet just to get a couple bets off, but we'll see. I might do one more, but it's too late to affect the video. Just so I don't have to do 11 on Saturday.
Well, in a smooth transition, we're gonna be done.
Yep.
So, quite possibly the worst bullshit video we've made, but
No,
we've made lots of
fuck
bad
that.
videos. So,
Son of a
who can
bitch.
really tell? Chewy, thank you for holding it down this week while Matt and I struggle mightily. Everybody else, I hope good things happen.
Yeah, and things and stuff. Real quick, guys. November 18th, Chewy, Carver, karaoke. Please
Are you
make it
gonna,
out.
do we get any? I mean, it's only like what,
So
12 days?
let me
No,
tell you.
16
Let me
days
tell
away?
you. We have to find out what the bar will be able to give us. I don't even know where we're going. Chewy, I'm kind of leaning on you here. What
I was
karaoke
worried.
bar
I
we're going
figured
to.
that was that. So I start planning this. We got screw the segue on this thing. We're just gonna record it. Carver's North Valley. I'm Tempe Mesa, so it's East Valley. Where are you staying when you're here, Harris?
We're like a mile from you.
Okay, so it'll probably be down here. More of the leagues down here. Sorry, Carver.
No,
So
it's
we'll
not.
have to plan that. I'm going to add to it. I know you'll end up going back up north sometime Saturday. My birthday falls on the Wednesday after this event. So I will probably party that night, probably have people over the next day for board games or whatever we can pull off. So 18th, 19th, league party / Chewy's awesome is what I'm saying. I'll find a karaoke spot. I will probably also have to put something into the league because it is clear, like some people are claiming to be too busy to watch our 2 hours of bullshit, which is rude. I don't appreciate it. They're not seeing this, so this speech is useless, but maybe we can clip it and just put it in the league chat. But so we'll have to put something into the chat saying, hey, look, 18th, this place, 19th, Chewy's house. Have fun, party on, Wayne. Good times, great oldies. So some of the great stuff we talk about on the show will have to start being put into the chat. Also start looking at karaoke. I know I drove by a sign that said karaoke at a very sketchy strip mall near my house.
Yes.
So if we want something just like a couple blocks away from Gary and myself, it said karaoke.
I would like, if possible, I would like to get as much as the league and their spouses or whatever. I would like everybody to come to this to watch Chewy and Carver sing their love to me.
Right.
'Cause that's what it's about. So
What I would like from you, even though I know it depends on the karaoke machine, you should at least have 3. Yes, I know what I said. You should at least put them in there. At least give us 3 songs soon, just in case we want to
I will.
this up.
So I will say that today, to my classes, and I teach juniors. I talked to my classes about it and I said, I need a song for 2 douchebags in my league who owe me a song to sing a duet to me, professing their love for me. And there were some good songs thrown out at me. And these are juniors, almost seniors, who have a pretty good, actually, their music selection. I was quite surprised with some
If
of the
it's
songs.
any song written in the last decade, I don't know it.
No. Don't worry. Don't
I don't
worry.
know any new
I
music.
brought up the Karate Kid song that I really want.
I am the man who will
Yes.
fight for your honor.
That might be it. But yeah. So yeah, guys, let's make this happen. Let's make this like a league party. Show up to the karaoke of Carver and Chewy singing to me.